everybody, and welcome to SGN. I'm John Krasinski, and if it isn't clear yet, I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing. And now for some good news. Aubrey!
Hi.
You've had a rough week, I hear.
Mm-hmm.
I heard you're a big Hamilton fan.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, the social distancing thing is very important, so I have a deal for you. When it's all over, I will fly you and your mom to New York, and you will see Hamilton on Broadway. How does that sound? Something tells me you might be a bigger fan of my wife than mine.
Hi, Aubrey.
I've never really seen The Office or whatever.
Excuse me? Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to SGN. I'm John Krasinski, and yep, after 8 weeks, it finally happened. I have been made totally and wholly obsolete. That's right, this animation has pulled off the impossible. Not only am I apparently married to Brooke Shields in this iteration, but after stealing my voice and somehow my soul, it is very clear that I have just lost my long-wage battle with fan art. And never has there been a more admirable foe, because for all my attempted jokes throughout these episodes, the truth is, I have been so incredibly moved by this community of people, by this community of artists who have allowed me to experience this show each and every week through their own very unique lens. After being spoiled all this time with you sharing your incredible talents only with me, I thought it was time to share them with the rest of the world. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you've been wondering where you can get your hands on some amazing SGN merch, well, we now have the answer. And if you've been wondering what can you do to help others during this crazy time, well, you just did. Thanks to these artists' generosity, every single dollar spent on the SGN marketplace will go directly to the charity of your choice. And if that wasn't cool enough, our friends over at the Starbucks Foundation have just agreed to match the first $1 million spent. Now that is what I call some good news. But the good news doesn't stop there. Oh no. Heading into week 8, it was finally clear inside hospitals and out that the one thing we've all been needing is finally here. Hope.
This is my fight song. Take back my life song. Prove I'm alright song. No power turned on. Stop me right now. I'll be strong. I'll play my fight song. And I don't really care if nobody else believes. 'Cause I've still got a lot of fight left in me.
And our recovery gold medalist this week is 1000% Greg Garfield, who is patient 0 at St. Joseph's Hospital in California, where doctors gave him a 1% chance of survival. Where's Greg today? He's headed home. And this week, recovery wasn't just happening in the hospitals. In Virginia, 1-year-old Noelia Carbonero shows the world once and for all what you do when you get knocked down.
I'm okay.
You're okay?
And being that it's 2020, it's now technologically possible for hope to simply fall from the skies.
It said that I got a full intuition scholarship.
And in Falkirk, Scotland, This father was forced to self-isolate while his daughter underwent chemotherapy. Well, after 2 months of air hugs out the window, today was a new day.
Air hug. Okay, thank you. But you know what, Mila?
What?
You don't have to do air hugs anymore.
How?
Can I get a real hug?
Yeah.
Yeah? Yes. Oh, I love you. Love you. How are you? Are you? No.
And that brings me to my favorite story of the week, and perhaps my favorite part of every week, which is how unbelievably moving it's been to watch so many of you take this show and quite literally make it your own.
Hey everybody, it's Austin Piron here.
And welcome to Some Good News Apartment Edition.
Some good news.
Some good news, Canada.
Is some great news?
SGN.
Welcome to SGN.
We are ready in Nepal for some good news.
From the SGN Network.
For rising tides and lifting spirits.
Welcome to Some Good News. Hello! SGN means some good news.
Some good news. Good news, Indiana.
So here is some good news.
And welcome to Some Good News Saigon.
Some go news. Some good news.
But of Some Good News Cranberry.
Some good news, the India edition.
West Fargo High School edition.
This is a newscast that's all about good news.
I'm Lucy and this is my co-anchor Buffy. And we have a super great show for you tonight.
Let's get to the good news.
Let's share some good news.
And good news there was deep in the weird world of isolation. But this time, don't take my word for it. For more on this story, we go now to Stephen, aka Radio Kepler.
Thanks, John. We kick things off in Boston, Massachusetts, where one little girl disproves the biggest misconception about isolation. Who says it has to be lonely?
Pick a card. What did you get? Oh, 3.
Out in California, these two show us what kind of magic can happen when your fellow playmate is another human being.
Go!
And in Larkspur, California, this young man asks the age-old question: is losing your mind always a bad thing?
Thanks, Stephen. And now for more neighborhood weirdness, we head all the way over to Saigon with Prime and Bella.
Thanks, John. The undeniable power of community was strong this week, starting off in Vestavia Hills, Alabama, where 2 high school girls set out to make a TikTok video and ended up making a new best friend.
Cause some came in the mail today.
And you don't wanna fight with us. We big dogs, you don't fight the wolves. Had rubbers in my backpack. And you brought your gamers.
Got it!
And in El Paso, Texas, one house offered their neighbors a free family getaway with the invitation of, if you can't get to Disney, we'll bring Disney to you.
Go, Mickey!
This is SGN Saigon, signing off.
And now we turn to sports with SGN's favorite sports correspondent, Austin P. Ryan. Austin.
Thanks, John, and what a week of sports it's been. In West Lafayette, Indiana, when you rank top 5 in the nation in the 400-meter freestyle, not even quarantine can stop you from training. In Wellington, New Zealand, the beaches may be shut down, but the surf is always up. In Boston, Massachusetts, this hockey fan is giving clean sweep a whole new meaning. These guys are the real MVPs of the week. Back to you, John.
Thanks, Austin. Well, this is the part of the show where I usually try to throw in a fun segment to make you smile. Well, this week, I think I saved the best for last, because there has been no greater source of smiles than in getting to make this show.
What is SGN?
Some good news.
Is this working?
Did that work?
Yes, you're in.
Hey!
Nene,
Keep swiping.
you sideways.
Yo, Nene, you sideways. You
No,
gotta
I
turn it.
just look. If I turn it, it doesn't turn.
You can't be sideways. You're the only one sideways. How you gonna do this?
You look like a lobster.
That was a good accent. Getting better. I'm so proud of you right now. Susan and John.
Can you hear us?
Hi, guys.
You can hear it, but we can't hear you. This is the worst thing that's ever happened.
No, it's not. No, it is not.
Would you guys excuse me? I'll be leaving.
In the intellectual property heist, it's John Krasinski. Get it right. And this kind of... Good thing no one's filming this.
Your bobblehead move is very exciting.
All right, so everybody's audio is working, right? Say hi.
Hi.
Just to see your face is so great.
That's the Chris Brown part, just so everybody knows.
Hi, guys.
Okay, that's enough.
No, that's
anyway, boom, bam, badoosh, boom, woo! I am a mess. I am a mess right now.
And you dressed up like that every Sunday?
No, dude, I'm just wearing basketball shorts.
You look great. You look great.
Thank you.
All right.
That was over. And that is officially the stupidest I've ever looked. Em, what are you doing? Oh, that was perfect. And it's time now once again for a check on the weather. So, how's it looking out there, everybody?
This is Mora from SGN, Buenos Aires, Argentina. The weather is pretty good down here.
Looks pretty good. Se ve bastante bien.
Looks pretty good. It looks pretty good. It looks pretty good.
Looks pretty good.
Looks pretty good. Pretty good? It looks pretty good.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
Looks pretty good. Not bad.
It looks really good.
Yes, it does, Coco. Yes, it does. And that brings us to our final segment we like to call What This Show Means. Well, on a very personal note, I can tell you that I will never be able to properly articulate just how much this show has meant to me, and what a tremendous honor it has been to share in all of it with you. Because the truth is, I have been so blown away by the messages I've received saying how joyful this show makes you, how uplifted and inspired you all can be, but I assure you all the pleasure and all the inspiration has been mine. I told you from the very first episode, I only deliver the good news, you are the good news, and that's why every single week, if you can look past the goofy guy wearing half a suit, you'd see what resilience really looks like, what unbroken really means. And through witnessing each and every simple act of kindness and generosity, you would see what the true definition of good really is. Good evening, everybody, even though it is very clearly the afternoon, and welcome to SGN. John, what is SGN?
You're broken down and tired of living life on the merry-go-round, and you can't find a fighter, but I see it in you, so we gon' walk it out. Move mountains, we gon' walk it out and move mountains. And I'll rise like the day. I'll rise up, I'll rise unafraid. I'll rise up, and I do it 1,000 times again. And I'll rise up, I like the waves. I'll rise up, in spite of the ache. I'll rise up, and I do it 1,000 times again.
This is what it looks like when you leave LIJ. COVID positive, discharged to out.
This night too shall pass, and when it does, this 2020 class won't just navigate a new normal. Together, we'll build a better one.
Congratulations, you have officially graduated!
The silence is quiet, and it feels like it's getting hard to breathe. And I know you.
If you can't go to Hamilton, we're bringing Hamilton to you.
But I promise we'll take the world to its feet. Move mountains.
We're all in this together.
An Earth in crisis is still an Earth worth returning to.
And I'll rise up, I'll rise like the day. I'll rise up, I'll rise unafraid. I'll rise up, and I do it 1,000 times again.
Because if we are in service of our dreams versus our dreams being in service to us, it becomes something greater, and it allows us to be game, and it allows us to get over our fear and to go forward no matter what obstacles are thrown in our path.
All we need is hope. That we have each other, and for that we have each other. And we will rise, we will rise, we will rise. We'll rise.
I believe that failure is an opportunity to move yourself in a different direction.
In spite of the end, I will rise 1,000 times again. And we'll rise up, I like the waves. We'll rise up, in spite of the ache. We'll rise up, and we'll do it 1,000 times again.
And that will do it. For this episode of SGN, I'm John Krasinski, no longer needing to remind you that no matter how hard things get, there is always good in the world. Thank you all for making this show so very special. We will see you again. Good night.
I don't know
know about you, but me. Well, I could really use some good news, like that John Krasinski. Let's take a look at the past 8 weeks. We started with the bang, started with 15, celebrating the cancer that this girl beat. Don't forget about Steve, Office is now a teen. Take a look at the awesome things we're doing in between. When this girl couldn't see Hamilton, well please, we got the cast together to sing it for her G. What about Ep 3? Look at these 4 seats. Celebrate all the doctors and nurses, their expertise. Next week we seized the night away, you see. John put on a prom, we danced with Billy. Don't forget about space. SGN's out in space? Yes, we did that. That's just silly. Guy Fieri stopped by to eat. Look at his face, ye. John donated 3 million to charity, then passed out degrees. Congratulations to the class of 2020. We love it, we love it, we love it, we love it, we love it. Remember when John got ordained and said, you know what, F it. Let's get these 2 people married and bring back the stunting. Reunite all the office and celebrate all the loving. That brings us up to speed, brings us up to this week. Shout out to all the weather reports and celebrities. Also that Emily, now SGN is we. It's up to us to keep on spreading positivity.